Previously on Feats of Strength, Georgian Konstantin Janashia and Estonian Rauno Heinla went head-to-head in an attempt to set the record for the 400-kilo deadlift for repetitions. Rauno got 6 reps, setting a new world record. Our wildcard athlete Trey Mitchell from Lumberton, Texas, attempted to take the 400-kilo deadlift for reps record from Rauno Heinla. Despite the short notice and less than favorable circumstances, Trey managed a magnificent 2 repetitions. Stay tuned to watch Tom Stoltman and Donna Moore attempt new world records in the Atlas Stone hoist.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength, Episode 3. We have the king and the queen of the Atlas Stones event, Tom Stoltman and Donna Moore, are going to try and attempt to break the world record Atlas Stone hoist. I'm Mark Boyd. I'm joined with co-host Lauren Shalley. How are we today, Loz?
I'm good. I'm very excited for this attempt, Mark. I mean, you know, what we saw Tom do season 1 was incredible. And I'm really excited to see Donna. Donna is an incredible all-round strength athlete, but she is particularly good at the stones. She's dominated those events in her competitions. And today she's going for a 170-kilo stone. This is, you know, top-level man stuff. You know, the last stone in male competitions are often around 170, 180 kilos. Donna is going to be competing or lifting a stone that the top guys lift. I know we've got Tom going for the ridiculous, absolutely insane 300 kilo plus stone. That's just ungodly. But let's get into perspective. 170 kilo Atlas stone is fantastic. I mean, you're an incredible strongman yourself. Have you ever lifted much more than that on a stone?
I think around 200 is my marker.
200, honestly, I mean, 200 shows how good an athlete you are, because, you know, for an under 105 athlete to lift 200 is incredible. For a female athlete lifting 170, this is seriously groundbreaking stuff. And then the big man from Scotland going for the 300. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. If you look, both Donna and Tom are the current records holders. They're looking to increase the numbers that they've set out there. I'm really looking forward to it as well. 300 kilos and 170 kilograms. Loz, talk me through the Atlas Stone event. How is it we go through it?
So the event today is all about the heaviest stone. Obviously, in competition, a lot of the time it's a series of stones as quick as possible. Today, it's all about maximum weight over the bar. So the guys are going to have to lift the bar up to their laps. You see in with the lighter stones, some of the best guys can one motion stones. We're not going to see any one motioning today. They need to make sure they're getting plenty of leg and back power into these movements. So once the stone is onto the lap, you'll tend to find they'll adjust their hand position. So rather than being right around the center, they'll go over the top of the stone a little bit more. What this allows is like to create a lever point where they can roll the stone up their body so that they're not lifting the whole weight with their arms. It's the legs, glutes, and back that do the lifting. And then obviously they've got to go over the bar, push it over for a good lift. It's 300 kilos to that kind of height. You know, you think of where you finish a deadlift, you know, below your waist. This is going to be up by chest height. It's a huge amount of weight to lift extremely high on the body. And if anyone in the world has a chance of this record, it's Tom Stoltman.
Yeah, so the athletes are going to be lifting the Atlas Stone from the floor over a 48-inch beam. Donna is also going to be doing that, and we're going to see a bit of perspective in terms of how tall Tom Stoltman is and how tall Donna is. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Interesting fact there is that we're making the women lift to the same height as the men, and like you say, Tom's almost a good foot taller, probably, so maybe more. So it shows how impressive Donna's performance is going to be as well.
So it's not correct. So what we're saying, it should be. So that's. I think the scales are buggered. That's not right. So it's saying it's 100. I don't think the scale's right.
Oh,
so
dear.
We can see there from the early stages in that Atlas Stone, it's broke the scales already, Loz.
Wow, you can see Luke was he wasn't sure what to do there, but it shows how heavy these stones are. I've been saying it week on week, but these are ridiculous weights, and we don't even know how heavy this stone is now. It's stopped and it's broken the scales.
Yeah. And it shows you how dense that piece of equipment is. I think like the Atlas stones are the most dense pieces of equipment in the sport. And you're talking 300 kilos of mass just in an arm span, basically.
Well, it's an interesting fact to think about, to be honest, because like I said, it wasn't that long ago. You'd have 200-kilo stone would be the heaviest stone you'd see in competition, and then about I guess early 2008, 2009, 2010, they started doing some Atlas stone hoists at the Arnolds, so they started creating bigger stones. But there's going to be manufacturing issues with such big stones. We've never needed a 300-kilo stone to be made before. So as an athlete, you don't really think about that. But just sitting here watching that, it really makes you think. Like, that's a lot of weight to just be compact into like a spherical shape. And the weight.
I wouldn't like it to roll over my toe.
Oh, definitely. You could see how much Luke was struggling to get it just rolling there. And Luke is one of the strongest men on the planet right now. So it really puts into perspective how heavy these things are and the challenge that's set ahead for Tom later.
We've got Queen of the Atlas Stones joining him today, Donna Moore, 170 kilos. Have you saw any of her training lately, Loz?
Only a little bit. I mean, Donna's not had an awful lot to train with, obviously, with all the situation going on in the world. A lot of the females' comps have been cancelled. And I know she's always ticking over and staying focused. But I know when this opportunity came along, she kind of, really wanted it because she's such a great stone lifter. And there's not often many chances for the girls to get opportunities like this. We saw season 1, Rhiannon going for the lightweight stone record attempt. And I know since then, Donna's wanted to have a crack at the women's heavyweight record because she knows what she's capable of. And I think she's definitely going to be excited to do it.
Escape to the most tropical island with the most tropical flavor. Not that kind of flavor. That kind. Then add a floral punch of lychee slammed into a tangy burst of lilac-corn. Give it 0 sugar, but still make it taste good. Paradise good. Then pack it with power so you can outdo you. That's what goes into New Rain Lilacoid Lychee. A total body fuel.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the 2nd largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity. And you either have it or you don't. Some of us are born with it, and others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. Those of us who are animal always find a way to get it done. No excuses. I am animal.
So we can see here, we've got the forklift scales out for this. Obviously, the other scales have been broken with Tom Stone. There's that Luke that was rolling the stone on there. 171 kilograms. Pretty precise. 1 kilo a bit heavier, but shouldn't make a difference.
We'll let them have that. I mean, getting an Atlas stone precisely bang on weight is difficult. So I think 1 kilo will allow that. And it's heavier than the record, the previous record. So Donna will be confident. She's a great stone lifter. She's looking confident in herself. It's nice this week. You know, obviously we saw with Trey last week, there was no team around Trey. This week, you know, with Luke there, they're going to get lots of support. He'll be on hand to help at any stage, give the Tom and Donna anything they need. It really makes a difference when you do have that support team.
Yeah, definitely. And just going back to that point on the making of the Atlas stones, obviously they need to make the stone a little bit heavier, because the stone actually dries out, the concrete dries out, and it loses a bit of weight during that setting process. So to get it bang on is a difficult task, but achievable.
I think we need to do I think it'd be fascinating for fans to see the process of an Atlas stone being made. I don't know. I love watching those kind of programs on things how to things. I've never really thought about it. I mean,
that's an idea for you, Luz.
There we go. I made an Atlas stone a long time ago, and my neighbor came out and he was like, "What the hell are you doing, Luz? Let me sort it out for you." I'm better at lifting these than making them. Look at there we go.
And here we go. The Atlas Endurance Castle Stone 307.
Wow.
So talking about that process of the stone drying out, I don't know what's happened there. It's gained a bit of weight.
he's had a fun few months. It's 307 kilos. Wow, that's a big stone.
That is massive. And Tom's
not
phased.
He's been able to practice a little bit with the stones. Obviously, you know, the initial stone that he lifted for the initial world record, and now I've heard in training that he's lapped it a few times. He's lapped it. He's not tried to go over the platform. He's just been, getting used to the feel of the stone. I think.
And in training, he did his previous record for 2 repetitions.
Wow,
crazy.
It's
crazy.
He really is the king of the stones right now. Look at him there, sat down, looking relaxed. He's been very focused on this event. You know, he's got 2 big goals this year. One, to break the stone record, and then go on and win the world's strongest man. And you know, you can see the confidence that's grown in him over the years. He's just believing now that he is one of, if not the best strongman on the planet. And you can just see it oozes out of him. He's got that confidence. He's not that shy young boy anymore that's sort of scared or could be intimidated. He's confident. He knows what he's capable of. And he's just getting better and better.
And going back to last week's episode with Trey Mitchell, Tom was in that phase before, that phase where he needed to blossom in order to progress as an athlete. And it's great to see that Tom's progressed from similar to where Trey Mitchell is at the minute. And hopefully Trey Mitchell blossoms like the athlete Tom has.
I mean, we spoke about Trey last week. You know, he's got a bright future ahead of him. He just needs to stay focused, keep improving, and learn from any setbacks that you get. And I know every single top level athlete has had plenty of setbacks in the past. It's how we learn from them, how we come back from them. And as you've seen, you know, Tom went for a stage. He got injured at World's Strongest Man. He got beat by, you know, in a few contests. He had a bad performance at Britain's Strongest Man one year. He went to a few other competitions where he thought he could win and didn't. And he kept having those knockbacks, but he didn't let that affect him. He kept coming back, kept improving, and now he's starting to win those big major contests. He's starting to break those world records, and he's becoming the athlete that we've all we talk about that potential, but these athletes have to go out there and develop and keep working and keep improving. And that's what I always say. It's not about how good you are at a young age, it's how you keep progressing. And that's what he's done. He's kept getting better. And that is the most important thing.
We can see there, Donna Moore is sticking on the tacky, the Atlas Stone tacky. Essentially, it's glue that helps you grip onto the stone. It makes the grip that little bit easier. Obviously, these stones have smooth surfaces. They do abrase the forearms. So this helps with the grip. And you can see there, that was like a basketball for Donna.
Yeah. She's warming up there with 100 kilos and just launching it over. I think Tom
the cameras, Luke catching it before the cameras.
Luke nearly went flying trying to stop it. Yeah, you're just saying about the tacky there. It's actually like tree resin. That's where it kind of comes from. It's like tree sap. And they kind of do some, again, I don't know the scientific side, how they kind of...
See the leg of the camera there, definitely. He broke it up.
They won't be inviting Donna up again. Bring these girls in and they just destroy everything. Look at that. Just launching it over.
She's making sure it's over the beam anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, we're saying about the tacky, it does help stick to the stone. And that's important with these kind of weights. Without any kind of adhesive to stick to that stone, it's just going to slip and rip your forearms open. I mean, you'll see these guys, they'll have the red marks on the forearms. Some of the guys wear the sleeves to protect the forearms. Donna there going raw, just getting it against her skin. She's going to have red marks and abrasions later, but she's tough girl, and she wants to make sure she's stuck and got that feel for the stone against her.
Britain, a small island which built the largest empire in human history. The nation that gave us modern sport, including football, rugby, cricket, and more. Home of the English language and the most famous playwright of all time, Shakespeare. Birthplace of Tim Berners-Lee, whose World Wide Web enables us to access all of those works and more with the click of a button. The first industrialized nation on the planet with a long and rich history of science and innovation. It was Isaac Newton who discovered gravity, the fundamental force that every strong man and strong woman must battle with. It was Charles Darwin who described evolution, but it was evolution that forged these exceptional athletes.
I'm Donna Moore. I was actually born in Germany, but grew up in the UK, and I am 40. My dogs mean the world to me. They're funny in their own characters, and they're always pleased to see you, even if you're having a rubbish day. They're just like a big part of our family life. I really enjoy walking them. It's just a break away from everything. It's no training, there's no work. It's just concentrating on walking them and breathing in the fresh air, and you're just alone with your thoughts, really. I think over recent years, Strongman has really grown, but I think that's a reflection as well of society being more accepting of women lifting weights, and also women finding out that lifting weights is fun, and then it doesn't turn them into a man, which people think that's what it's going to do. So to have Strongwoman grow here, especially in the UK, has been great. Hold the world record for Atlas stones with no tacky, so it's a raw lift where Atlas stones people usually put the resin on their hands to lift them, and this year we're going to be doing the same world record, but this time it will be for multiple repetitions. I've got into this sport quite recently, well, I say recently, 2012, through Facebook and being invited to a competition, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved it, every single bit about it, so I just carried on, and we're here today doing this. I have 2 teenagers now who have been through Strongman quite a lot of their lives, so it's quite good for them to watch the records. My biggest achievements I think my favourite one is when my first World's Strongest Woman title in Doncaster, where my family was actually able to come and watch me. I've really enjoyed doing the Arnold Strongman competition, the Rogue Record Breakers, and I'm really looking forward to doing today's record. My main goals for Strong Woman, I would like another World's Strongest Woman title, if that's ever to be able to happen. I really enjoyed the Arnold, so I'd like to go back there. Today, my world record is a 170 kilo Atlas stone load over a platform yoke. So that is going to be quite a big jump on the already existing record, which is mine at 161.5 kilo.
Well, that's Luke setting up the stone for 120 kilograms. Making sure it's nice and clean, free from dust.
So I should imagine, even, with these lighter weights, where she's probably capable of one motioning, she's going to focus on lifting them how she will the heavier stones. So she should be going up to a lap, readjusting the hands, then driving the hips through, rolling the stone up her body and pushing it over the platform.
So 120 kilograms. This is roughly about the starting weight of a male competition, Loz?
Yeah, sometimes even less. I've seen shows where they started at
100 kilos, yeah.
Yeah, it's still a decent weight. I mean,
and it's just with these
120 kilos. That's a heavy man.
yeah, that is. It's heavier than me.
Yeah, there you go.
So Donna is just thrown over the beam there. 120 kilograms. Is that Tom going to come out for a little warm up, do we think?
Yeah, Tom just going to start his warm up now. So this is just shy. 120 kilos is a little bit shy of 300 pounds. So it's a big weight. And look at that. In Tom, it just looks like a tiny little pebble.
Yeah.
We started with a can, added 200, no 250, no 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, extracted from plants. Yeah, plants. So you could do this, but not this. Vitamins B3, B6, B12, you're welcome. BCAAs, that just happened. Plus electrolytes, because sweat, and CoQ10, because we had room. And then we made it taste good, without the sugar. Now, go drink it. That's how we made Rain total body fuel.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the second largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity. And you either have it or you don't. Some of us are born with it, and others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. Those of us who are animal always find a way to get it done. No excuses. I am animal.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength. We are here in Invergordon, Bonnie, Scotland, for the Atlas Stone World Records. Donna Moore is previously World's Strongest Woman.
3 times World's Strongest Woman. Yeah, we need to get that in there. She is an incredible strength athlete. And there, 140 going over Luke, making sure it doesn't break anything this time. But
it's like a bowling alley in there.
It is. She's such a great athlete, and she's so. I mean, I forget that she's 40 years old. I always kind of think Donna is much younger than that because she doesn't let the age affect her at all. She's just been improving year on year, and she's a fantastic athlete to watch. If you've never seen Donna lift, when she's getting psyched up for a big lift, she's stomping around. She starts really unleashing that kind of inner beast inside of her, and it's fun to watch. She's right now she's being quite methodical, but honestly, when you see her go for those big numbers, really gets herself fired up. And there's Tom just making another big stone look like a pebble,
polishing off the beam there. But yeah, as you say, like she unleashes that beast, but she's such a nice, sweet person.
She is actually probably one of the nicest athletes you'll ever meet. She's just a lovely person. She's so supportive of everyone. Normally when you're a top athlete, it's easy to be nice, but you're focused on yourself. She's there to support the other athletes. She's there to give advice. She's just a great person, and I'm so pleased that she's got this opportunity, and she's definitely capable of another world title.
And she was mentioning in her journey piece there about how female strong woman is up and coming. She's definitely the arrowhead in that, or part of the arrowhead.
Certainly. I mean, I can go back to, as I do every week, go back to sort of when I started, and there was 1 or 2 women doing strongwoman in the country, in the UK, and very few worldwide. Now they're filling out classes week on week. There's different weight categories. There's female shows every single weekend, and Donna has been one of the absolute pioneers of strength, not just in the UK but across the world. And she inspires many girls to get into lifting, and she just keeps getting better all the time.
We can see there that Donna was putting the tacky, the tree resin on her knees. That's something I've never seen before. But the reason she's doing that is so the stone doesn't roll off of her lap when she's down, preparing herself to finish that hoist.
Sure, everyone has slightly different things, and she's just wanting to make sure that it's, like you say, it's not going to roll off her.
I'm taking notes. Notes.
Yeah, we can all learn things from.
We can all learn. Yeah.
I'll always say to anyone, it's worth like picking up little things from everyone, different coaches, different athletes, because we're all built differently. You watch the way Donna lifts compared to Tom, it's going to be completely different.
And now we're lining up. Is it 160 kilograms we're going for, Laws, on the warm-up?
Yeah, so her last warm-up now, she's got 160 kilo Atlas stone, which let's get this into perspective. The world record is 161.5, which is basically this.
Yeah. Setting the tone, this one. 160 kilograms before her world record attempt, 170 kilograms. Making sure the stone is all tackied up for her.
So look there, Luke, always helping out. And again, we mentioned how important that kind of support network is.
Yeah. It's the beauty of strongman. All the athletes sort of huddle their heads together, give each other advice, because at the end of the day, we're always learning, and that's the beauty of the sport. There's always little tricks.
There's the smelling salt. So she's just sniffing those. It's ammonia. Clears your head, fires yourself up.
Here we go,
Wraps
160.
around, up to the lap. Oh, puts it back down. He seems happy.
Okay.
All right,
So
she's maybe
looks like she was just testing the pickup there.
It came up nicely off the floor. Came up real easy. Sat down with it. Obviously, being so close to the record attempt, I think maybe she's just wanting to save her energy now for that second phase, because that's the hardest bit. Did you say it was 48 inches?
Yes, 48 inches. Yeah.
That's it's a high platform. Getting the tacky on his forearms. He
And
looks
you can
so
see
relaxed.
there, yeah, so relaxed. But you can see how much thickness that tacky is. He's essentially making sure his hands are nice and warm, applying it all over the forearms, every inch of his palm, his fingers.
I noticed he's been on the physio bed recently as well, because he's got some cupping marks up by the shoulders. It's again, guys are getting treatments all the time now, making sure they're Luke interrupted me there. Just making sure that their bodies are well prepared for these attempts. Luke having a bit too much fun with that, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely some product placement there. Leaf blowing the dust away.
Scotland, Kingdom of Alba, the land of the free yet punishing highlands and undulating lowlands, where battles were fought and warriors were born, hardened by weather, history, and unforgiving terrain, covered in mountains, lochs, and barren lands. Only the strong, only the brave will emerge from the lands to defeat and conquer.
I am Tom Stoltman. I am from Scotland and I grew up in a small town in Invergordon. I'm autistic, so autism is not an illness you can see. If this was 2 years ago, there would never in a million years that I'd be talking to this. Strongman has changed my life just because obviously you have to be more independent, you have to travel places by yourself, you have to talk to the TV, you don't have a choice, you have to do it. The first few times I was like, whoa, I've never done this before. Like, you just get used to it, and like, it's changed my life mentally. It's made me the best person I've ever been, and physically as well, but I love it and it's changed my life big time. Well, 6 years ago, I got into the sport through the bigger brother, the Highland Oak, Luke Stoltman. I kind of went down to watch him compete in his first competition, and I got the bug for it. Luke took me under his wing, and rest is history. He really went into the gym, showed me how to lift weights, showed me some basic strongman movements, and that's kind of the first step to our success. Yeah, well, I've got quite a big family. Every single one of them are supportive in what I do. Since I started this sport, they were supporting Luke before, but they support both of us equally. My biggest fans are probably, well, obviously is Sinead, my wife. She follows me everywhere. She keeps my head. She just makes sure I'm 100% ready for everything I'm doing. She's supportive. Yes, if it wasn't for her, I couldn't do this. Also, my mum, even though she's not here just now, she's still above and she's still in the sky supporting us, looking down, and again, that gives me another 10-20%. My dad as well. My dad follows us around the world, from Dumfries to America. He's been everywhere. My sisters are supportive, nephew, nieces, every single person. The biggest achievement for me is getting the World's Strongest Man final with Luke. I think that kind of took us to the next level in strongman. We've kind of stapled our name Stoltman in the sport. We've also the strongest brothers to ever live. That's kind of a title in itself that no other brothers will kind of achieve in my lifetime or Luke's lifetime. So that's probably the biggest one. Then winning Scotland's for the last 2 years and coming third at Wus, podium at an international competition, and then obviously having every single kind of stone record there is. So it's a special feeling, and hopefully it can continue. My goal is to obviously win World's Strongest Man and then winning the big Giants live shows, so winning Britain's, Europe's, and Wus as well. Obviously that's a massive one as well. So if I can win them, and then also if I can get invited to the Arnolds and win an Arnolds, that would be kind of the icing on the cake, winning all them. And then coming to records, obviously putting the stone record to bed, so like putting a record that nobody else is going to touch.
We heard it from the man himself, Tom Stoltman. Today, he is going to attempt to break the 300 kilo Atlas Stone record. He said he's going to set a boundary there that no one can touch for a while, or if at all. What do we think, Loz, today? Is it going to be broken?
Tom amazes me on stones. He goes with no support kit at all. You see some guys, they've got the belts on, they've got like the neoprene belts, the big thick belts to keep that midsection strong, elbow sleeves, they've got the wrists, the tacky sleeves as well for the tacky to stick to. Tom, he's just there in his little shorts. Man against stone. 440 pounds for viewers watching. This is a big weight.
Massive weight, massive. You see how comfortable he is. And another basketball there, nearly another camera.
That's 440 pounds, Mark. It's 200 kilos, massive weight. And he just launches it over like it's nothing. I believe in him. I really do. I mean, you just sit there listening to him talk. What does he want to do? He wants to do it all. And, he's starting off by setting this stone record even higher. He's not satisfied that he is the record holder. He wants to take it up a notch, lift even more weight, take that 286 up to 300 plus. We've seen what it's weighed now, 307. So it's not 303, 307 kilos. But I don't think those few kilos are going to make a difference. This man is a stone lifting machine.
Yeah, 307 kilos. Every kilo counts, especially if you're setting these records. He's got 265 kilos lined up, ready to go. Final warm-up lift for Tom.
Up to the lap. Nice. Good lift.
That was easy. Easy peasy for Tom.
He's just looking so confident today. Real change in him over the last year. He just believes he's capable now, whereas before he was always this big, strong lad, but there was a little bit of lacking in that mental side. Now he's got that mental strength as well.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the second largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity. And you either have it or you don't. Some of us are born with it, and others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. Those of us who are animal always find a way to get it done. No excuses. I am animal.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength, episode 3, where we have Tom Stoltman and Donna Moore on the platform today. Although we have a little bit of bad news, we've just heard in over the communications that Tom will not be doing the 307 kilos Castle Atlas Stone. He's felt a little niggle in his bicep. He doesn't want to risk pushing himself for this 307 kilos. Obviously, as he said in his journey piece, he wants to be achieving all these titles of World's Ultimate Strongman, World's Strongest Man, the Arnolds. He's going to save himself, laws. Bit of bad news, but I think it's a wise decision.
It's a wise decision. From the fan in me is massively disappointed. I was looking forward to seeing this attempt, but it's the smart choice as an athlete, and I totally appreciate where he's coming from. I've been in that position myself before. He's only got a few months now to World's Strongest Man. That's obviously, he's already the stone record holder. He's not the World's Strongest Man, and I know that's a major title that he wants to win. It's obviously massively disappointing, but he just felt a little twinge there going for the 265. He really wanted to break this record, but the worst thing he could do now is risk a bicep tear, and I've been in that position where I have torn a bicep, and it's not nice. So I think it's a smart move from the young man. Disappointing for all of us, naturally, but we still have Donna Moore going for this women's world record, the Castle Stone world record. She's going to be lifting 171 kilos, which is 376 pounds. We've all got to get behind her, but obviously massively disappointed for Tom.
Yeah, unfortunate news for Tom, but we have Donna Moore going for the world record, going to be beating her own record of 161 kilograms with 171. We weighed it in on the scales with Zerjunas Savickas watching over this lift. We're going to see that up next. You can see Tom in the background. I think he looks a bit disappointed there.
Naturally, he's going to be feeling it. He wanted to do this record today, but I do think he's doing the right thing. As much as the fan in me wanted to see him do this, you got to be smart sometimes. But now we got Donna. Let's focus on Donna. 171 kilos, 376 pounds, Castle Stone world record from the 3-time world's strongest woman, Donna Moore.
Just getting the tacky, making sure it's all tackied up. Spartan Atlas stones made this stone specially for her.
So what she's doing there is trying to get some of the excess tacky off her hands and get it onto the stone. So when she goes to grab it, it's perfectly set in the right place. allows her to stick a little bit easier to the stone. And just with these record attempts, everything has to be absolutely spot on. I think Zadrunas is just...
I tell 3, 2, 1, lift, and then you have 90 seconds. 90.
So 90 seconds on the clock for Donna to get it from the floor over the
tell
beam.
Me when you will be ready, and I start count 3, 2, 1.
No body part is allowed to touch the beam when she's doing this, so she can't grab onto the beam and push it over with her chest. She must clear the beam, both hands on the stone. 48 inches is the height.
This is where someone like Tom having that wingspan makes such a difference. He can just wrap around the stone so easily. You know, Donna's not got that height and length of Tom. She's going to have to really squeeze that much harder to get this stone up to her lap, readjust the hands, and then as much power as she can generate through those legs and hips to accelerate the stone up and over the platform.
And that's what it is sheer raw power.
Yeah, she's... I want to see her get fired up. She's not done it today. She seems quite focused and calm, which is unusual for Donna. I mean, she's always focused, but she usually gets herself fired up. She's got the soft belt on there just to give that back some protection. We spoke about Tom never using anything like that, but most athletes do use, especially the softer belts, because they allow for that flexibility. The leather belts that you see for the deadlifting and the squats and stuff like that are much more rigid. They don't allow that movement, and obviously the stone, you need that flexibility to get down to it.
Here we go.
There, gets herself fired up.
This is it.
There we go. Now we're getting
firing herself up.
3, 2, 1, lift.
Got to focus on the first bar. So first bar up to the lap. Excellent. Good girl. Come on. Arms
Solid
over.
pickup.
Let's lift it. Come on, Donna. Come on, Donna. Push it over.
She got it over.
Yes.
She's got it.
She's done it.
Fantastic.
There we go. There's the smile. She had that kind of inner rage and beast coming out of her, and then she'll calm down and we see the smile. It's so interesting watching these top athletes. They get themselves fired up. They're in that zone, and then now she's partying and enjoying it.
That is fantastic to see. She is absolutely buzzing, as we would say up in Scotland.
That
Great
is
to see.
A massive achievement. Huge Atlas stone. I never thought I'd see a woman lifting a stone that heavy in my time in Strongman. It just shows the level just keeps getting better.
And here we can see she gets it onto the beam, and then she just pushes it over the top. No hesitation in getting it over there.
Look at this. She has to fight with it. You can see how much bigger that stone is on her than say, like a Tom. She doesn't have the height to just dump it straight over, but she got behind it, pushed the stone over.
Escape to the most tropical island with the most tropical flavor. Not that kind of flavor. That kind. Then add a floral punch of lychee, slammed into a tangy burst of lilac-oil, give it 0 sugar, but still make it taste good. Paradise good. Then pack it with power, so you can outdo you. That's what goes into New Rain Lilac-oil Lychee. A total body fuel.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the second largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity. And you either have it or you don't. Some of us are born with it, and others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. Those of us who are animal always find a way to get it done. No excuses. I am animal.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman, Feats of Strength. We have just had Donna Moore breaking, smashing the Castle Atlas Stone world record. Fantastic stuff. We're going to go over to her for the post-feat interview.
About my world record, I feel amazing. It's my bag. I love Atlas Stones. They're just like the best event ever, and to be able to come up to Scotland to do it where my whole journey started, best thing ever.
Are you glad you got this opportunity?
I'm really glad I've got the opportunity with Wus to come and do the world records, show the rest of the world what women can do, and promote the sport of strong women and strong man to everybody.
How does it feel to be in front of the biggest virtual audience in the world?
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. I was just lifting my stones. How does it feel to be in front of the biggest audience in the world? I hadn't really thought of it until right now. It's amazing that the world can see women, strong man, strong woman, lifting all these great events and promoting our sport and ourselves. It's really good.
What's next for you?
What's next for me? Well, World's Strongest Woman's been cancelled this year, so probably the Arnold, and then anything else that comes along that tickles my fancy.
Message to aspiring fans,
Oh my goodness, I don't have to think about that one. What do other people say? Message to what? Yeah, lift it, don't quit, squeeze! What was the question again?
So do you have a message to aspiring fans, or so how are you going to do it?
A message to everybody is don't quit and keep moving forward. You can achieve what you want if you just work really hard.
That's it.
So that's great to hear from Donna there. Obviously, high spirits, the arrowhead of the females in the sport. Great to hear from her, Loz.
Yeah, she's such an inspirational athlete. You know, she's just such a happy person. But when she competes, she just switches on, and she really is an incredible athlete. So pleased to see her get the world record. It's going to be interesting to see if she's going to try and take it even further, maybe next time round. She's got so much potential still ahead of her. You can tell how much she actually really enjoys the sport as well. You know, some of the guys and girls we see, they're very focused. They're tunnel vision, whereas she just seems like such a energetic person, and it makes you want to watch her and see more of her lifting.
Well, she's already won the strongest woman in the world, and she's going for that title again. As she said in that interview, she's still aspiring, still striving to push forward, striving to inspire everyone in the sport. It's great to see.
Yeah, she really does. There's so many, youngsters that are looking up at these athletes and wanting to be like them. And Donna is definitely a figurehead in the sport.
And now we're going to go over to Tom Stoltman, and we're going to find out what happened with the Atlas Stone record.
How was it?
It was 50-50. Everything felt all right until I got to the 265. It slipped a wee bit. Although it was fast, I felt a wee twinge in my bicep, and it kind of was getting worse as it was going on. So I kind of thought, right, let's just leave the world record attempt for another day. There was no way I kind of could squeeze my biceps, so it was a bit a bittersweet thing. But at the end of the day, I come away positive. I didn't push myself, so I'm not really injured. Got world's strongest man in 7 weeks, and for me now that's the goal. And then I'm still the king of the stones. I always will be the king of the stones, and I'll come back bigger and stronger, and hopefully next year I'll be able to maybe do 317 to 320.
Are you glad you got this opportunity?
Yeah, I'm glad I got the opportunity. I'm glad I got to do this again. This time I didn't even get to attempt the world record because of my bicep. I was nursing that, like I said, earlier on in the week, and it's kind of flaring up big time. So yeah, I just want to give Wus a big shout out, Atlas Endurance a shout out, everybody that's kind of silver, but all my sponsorships that kind of stayed by my side, and supported me. They know that I'm capable of doing it on a good day when I'm 100%. Just everyone that kind of supported me as well. Thank you very much, and I'll be back after World's Strongest Man, bigger and better.
So that's great to hear from Tom Stoltman there. Obviously, a bit unfortunate about having to sort of back off with the world record attempt, but I would say it's a very wise decision from Tom himself.
Oh, certainly, Mark. As fans, we all wanted to see him attempt that record. It's obviously just in the nature you want to see the records broken, but Tom has to think long term. He's got some big contests coming up, and with an event like the Atlas Stones, it is very, very possible to tear a bicep, and that would finish him off for the season. So you can see the maturity in Tom over the last couple of years. I think a few years ago, he would have just still attempted the record stone. Now he's thinking about longevity, looking after his body. And I've been in that position before. And I must admit, sat here as a fan, it's a bit disappointing, but I got to remember when I was an athlete, you do think about the next contest, and these are professional athletes. They need to keep competing. They need to look after their bodies. And an interesting thing he said then was that it was a bad day. On a bad day, he still made a 265 kilo stone look like a pebble. That kid is incredible. He's going to make, he's going to come back and he's going to break that record. I have 100% faith in him, but unfortunately it wasn't to be today.
A wise choice for sure, but we had Donna Moore smashing the female Atlas Stone world record, which was fantastic to see. Next week, we have another female athlete, Andrea Thompson, max deadlift, Loz.
Yeah, the females are really bringing it right now. I think the opportunity that the Wus team have given, these incredible athletes, they're just taking it. They're so excited to be given this big opportunity. And I know Andrea personally, as you know, I do coach her. She's very, very excited to get the opportunity to break this record. Having already done the log record in season 1, she's very, very hungry and she wants that record.
What do we think? 300 kilos?
The record as it stands, the strong woman record is 275 kilos. Our goal is to make sure she breaks that and then just push it up as high as we can.
Well, we'll soon find out. Make sure you tune in next week and hopefully we'll see another World's Ultimate Strongman record.